Welcome to Deucecast Extra. We are here to talk about the penultimate episode of Ahsoka Season 1. Question mark? We don't know. Could be more. This one is called Dreams and Madness. Directed by a person I was not familiar with, but apparently she has done several episodes. I don't want to get her name wrong. Geeta Vasant Patel is this particular director. She's an accomplished television director. In fact, I think she's worked with Disney in some format before. I didn't look that up in detail, but I think she's worked with Disney before. Pretty good episode, but let's run around the horn here. Garrison, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great. I watched the episode like an hour ago.
First
time.
Okay.
Whoa.
You're a
I've been
busy
very
man.
busy.
I understand.
been-
Yeah, I understand.
Look, I had to watch some Jean-Luc this weekend instead. I felt like getting my pretentious corner on and watching some Breathless this weekend.
Oh, I
and,
thought you meant Picard season 3.
You meant
Yeah, that's what I mean by pretentious. Yes,
Jean-Luc
Star Trek.
Godard.
Yes.
Godard, not Picard.
Well,
See, I
that's
didn't say the last name. He just assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, yeah. Hey, I mean, I'm impressed. I have not. I'll be honest. I've not seen any of his stuff. I don't think I've not seen Breathless. So,
That's the
Jacob,
one.
what have you seen? Breathless.
Contempt. We did it on the podcast.
Oh, that's right. You did
Yeah.
Contempt. Yes. No. I have not watched any of his stuff before. Speaking of Jacob, how's it going, buddy?
Good. My football teams are rounding into shape. The Bills looked
Like
like
it.
a real football team against the Dolphins, and the Wyoming Cowboys are going to win the Mountain West.
I like it. I like it.
What?
I think they would look
Yeah.
Mountain West. Why
They look
not?
fine.
I mean, yeah. Anyways, Rhett, Rhett PO, how's it going?
Good. I'm watching the show right now.
First time. Well, look, I understand. I mean, you've been down on the series for most of the episodes. You had a few episodes that you liked, so I understand. I mean, I understand that.
I did have it on, but that was for my rewatch. But yeah, it's not going.
Okay.
It's not any better the second time. But go ahead.
Stop it, Shifty. Melissa is not liking your sunglasses.
I'm liking Melissa right now.
It's intimidating. I know.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it's derivative of somebody else on YouTube. So, but I understand.
Well, it started because I had the shingles in this eye, and it was
I
horrible to look at, and
I
now I'm
know.
just used to it.
I read Melissa's comment as Roth, and so I was like, "What is she talking about? His glasses look fine."
Melissa, fine. I'll be blind. I can't
Yeah,
see anybody.
exactly.
Can't see anybody. Fine. I get it.
I do want to shout out Andrew and Brian in the chat, Matt Mink in the chat, along with Melissa. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. As you can see, we're down a man. He should be here a little bit later, hopefully. Dr. Earl is an accomplished physician who's very, very busy. And luckily for him, we are apparently switching to a night next week, which I will mention again later. But next week, we are going to start back on Tuesdays, since Loki is mercifully on Thursdays instead of Wednesdays, which has been a hot mess for some of us. Or Tuesdays, yeah.
Monday is his free prostate exam day at the clinic, and people are just lined up. He's up to his elbows in that right now.
I like it. Yeah, dude, Matt. Look, I witnessed it in person. It looked painful. It looked painful.
It's pretty rough.
It's not what you want. Do not recommend.
No. 0 out of 10 stars.
Looks fine, Roth.
Matt.
All right, I can't see anything.
Yes, that's all we'll say.
It was awful.
It was awful.
They
They
treated it with an antiviral. I was on Valtrex like a common whore.
I should have interrupted you and not let you go forward. I don't know why I let you go forward. Let's dive into Dreams and Madness. Obviously, that is a line that I think Balin says at some point was it the last episode or this episode? He said this planet is of dreams and madness or some such.
It had to have been this episode then, right?
I think it must have been this episode 0 out of 10. I guess Brian has had experience with shingles.
Yeah.
0 out of 10.
Right.
let's just do like high level thoughts at first, then we can maybe dive in a little deeper. Garrison, I know you only had a chance to watch it this evening. What were your what is... Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Thanks, Ryan. Ryan decides to like come dunk on me the first time he's ever like stopped by, like to even like acknowledge my existence. He comes and dunks on me. I appreciate it, Ryan. Love you, brother.
I think that was a compliment.
Yeah.
That's not a
Okay.
dunking.
Yeah, that's a dunk. That's a
dunking
Okay.
would be no way the guy in the top left is married.
yeah.
That's a compliment.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
That's a compliment.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
he practically said would smash.
Yes, he did.
That's fair. Garrison, what did you think of the episode? Just high level, no details just yet. I know you just fresh on your mind. You probably most fresh out of all of us.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it felt like a lot of setup. I didn't really. It's probably one of my least favorite in terms of enjoyment in the moment. I liked some of the stuff that we got. I thought the Senator Siono plot point where he pulled a fire alarm was kind of weird.
I thought it would open a door.
Right,
He said.
right.
Right? Yeah, he kept saying, I thought it would open the door, and I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
There were instructions right there.
Nice.
Anyway.
Well
It's a big sign. I mean,
Well done.
I don't understand what happened there.
So,
Go ahead.
more about the Ziono guy.
Yeah.
I just made this connection. Is he the
Do you even
Resistance?
Star Wars?
Yeah,
Do you even
what
Star Wars?
He's the
bro?
Resistance guy, right?
Yeah, his kid.
wow. Yeah.
is a-
Wow.
Here's the weird thing, though. Like in that series, there was no mention of him being an a-hole. Like they never talked about, Kaz or whatever. Never talked about, or Zaz or whatever the heck his name was. Never talked about his dad being an a-hole. And all we got to know of this guy is that he was blown up in The Last Jedi, and then also in Force Awakens. I'm sorry, in Force Awakens, and then also Resistance, because they showed that particular scene as well in animated form. But no, we find out he's a jerk, so I don't really care if he died. I'm happy he's gone.
I've seen 3/4 of the first episode of Resistance probably 7 times, and I still can't get through it.
I watched the whole series.
I couldn't do it. I physically was not able to.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Hondo is back.
Yeah,
I see
Yeah.
Hondo
dog
is back.
Hondo.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, no, the dog.
Yeah.
No, look, I'm not
Michael
paying
Jordan
attention.
rewatch.
I'm looking over here, and the dog, of course. Yeah, the dog is back.
He got his
He is
first
a good
Kong
boy.
today.
You're right, Matt. He did what? Now?
Kong
He
toy.
got his first Kong today.
Yeah.
What is
It's one of
that?
those. It's one of the hard to destroy dog toys.
Oh, I don't know dog lingo.
You fill it with like peanut butter. Let's see.
Oh,
There we
dude,
go.
I would like that.
Fill
You
it
fill
with
that
peanut
with
butter,
peanut
put
butter?
a treat in there, and it takes a long time to get out. It keeps them distracted.
Rhett,
okay,
do
right.
not.
You did not.
Do
have to
not,
do
Rhett.
You did not.
But
I
do
might
not.
even go there.
didn't do
No.
anything. I
He
didn't
much,
do anything.
he much prefers this to the other peanut butter treats I give him.
I didn't do anything.
I
I mean,
right. Oh gosh. Okay. Roth, what did you think of this episode?
I
This
liked
is
it.
off the
I liked it a
rails too
lot.
early.
Even from the beginning with Ahsoka training to our
Yeah.
little cameo at the end, like this is a much better Goldenrod cameo than the one in Rogue One.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
That was key
You're right.
jangling. At least this was a plot point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
Yeah,
It
I
makes
like
sense.
this episode. I thought the fights with Ahsoka and Ezra against the like Raiders, and then Ahsoka showing up. I thought that was all done really well.
Yeah. I did too. Like, I mean, I may have shed a tear when 3PO showed up. I love when 3PO's on screen. I didn't
Yeah,
clap.
I'm much
maybe
more
I
of an
should
R2D2 guy than 3PO, mainly
Yeah,
because
you
of
know.
Anthony Daniels. But
Well, this one, that's the thing. I did like the fact that he was apparently actually on set. He
Mhm.
was in costume. It wasn't like the guy that they use sometimes that for live action stuff that isn't Anthony Daniels. They sometimes they'll use another guy, and it's just
are
his
you
voice.
sure?
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
Ever
Like
used
for other appearances, like
No,
other.
I don't
He's-
think that's
like,
true.
His schedule is clear. He is always available to be
Yes.
there.
I'm pretty
Well,
sure it's
sometimes
always
been a
Anthony.
guy used. There's been a
Sometimes he's
guy
got to
used.
sell his
before.
book, guys. I mean,
I mean, there was
No,
the guy in the blue suit that hobbled around. He didn't do the puppet in Phantom Menace. I don't
Menace.
think, did he?
I don't know.
I don't think Daniels did the puppet.
Right.
The pre.
Yeah, the
Right.
previs. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
Yeah.
or
That's
yeah,
the
the-
guy I'm
the-
kind of talking
yeah.
about, the other guy. But
Okay, see, I think anytime that
Yeah, I
goldenrod
think that's right.
suit shows up, it's Anthony. Like even like at the Oscars appearances.
oh
like,
no, zero chance. Zero.
I'm
chance.
pretty sure
They
Anthony has
use
said
another
that.
guy.
No,
Disney
I'm
has
pretty
another guy.
He
There's no way
I'm pretty
Anthony
confident
Daniels
that's
shows up
Daniels
for
gotta
rando
eat.
appearances like that.
He does. What else is he doing?
Yeah, Daniel's
exactly.
He's making the appearances. Hey,
I don't-
you want C3PO at your kid's birthday party?
No,
You
see,
need
stop it.
Daniels.
No, this is not accurate at all.
You would probably cameo. Get a
I
cameo.
don't
from
know the
Anthony.
guy. I don't know the other guy's name, but there's another guy Disney uses from time to time.
I don't know if
promise.
there is.
There's no way that Daniels has shown up at the MTV Movie Awards.
I'm
and-
pretty sure he is. Like I'm like 85% sure he is.
Okay, well, there's a
He
chance
showed
you're
up
wrong.
at the Hoover Sci-Fi Fest and just, I mean, the man, yeah, Anthony got to eat.
Whatever.
Rhett, it's Anthony.
Oh,
It is
my God,
Anthony,
no,
yeah,
There's no
exactly.
H.
That's
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Um,
Since when was there no H? Was there ever an H? That's new. There was an H.
There's not an H.
there's not an
Anthony
H,
Daniels.
but it's pronounced.
It's
Anthony.
spelling H, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, in
Yeah.
spelling there is an H.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but
It's in
in
pronunciation,
Right,
it's
we don't-
Anthony.
Anthony.
We don't have to.
Yeah.
We don't have to appease him on that. That's crazy.
Andrew, buddy, I think you probably could for the right price.
Yeah, and it's a low price. Who else got to eat? Red got to eat.
so I bet
I would
I'm
dress like
pretty
a
sure.
sexy cat and come to your birthday party.
Roth, have you had a chance to even like say you said you liked the episode overall?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
it was a good episode also.
Yeah.
But now let's move on to Rhett.
I mean, it didn't move me to tears or whatever.
there was two parts that I teared up a little bit.
like you did. I thought it was.
And
okay.
the Anthony Daniels was not one of the parts.
I'd had a lot of the same problems that the other episodes had, but it was, I mean, it felt light on development, really. It's kind of, you kind of like those penultimate episodes to build more, and I don't think it built as much as I was expecting it to. I mean, things happened as they do, but I wasn't on the edge of my seat with any of it. But yeah, I mean, it was not the worst of the episodes. But it's middle of the road. That's all. I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it quite a bit. I watched it for the second time this afternoon. Thought it was good. I mean, I think that it's propelling the story to be a major cliffhanger. I'm excited that Zeb got mentioned because that means he'll be in the finale.
No, he will not be.
No, he's training kids, Mikey. I'm
Training
sorry.
recruits.
But that
in another
just
galaxy.
mentioning his name though means that he'll show up. So that's foreshadowing.
In the giant story,
gonna
he will
show
show up.
Huh? In the what?
In the movie.
In the giant story that they're telling, he'll show up at some point. But
He's
I don't
showing
know
up.
if it'll be.
He's showing up tomorrow.
That's
I
not
think he
what
is,
we
too.
talked about, though.
No, I'm sticking to what I said.
No,
I'm sticking to what I
yeah.
said. He's showing up tomorrow.
He's showing up
He's
tomorrow.
showing up in the finale.
Right,
Okay,
I was
yeah,
wrong. I don't think he's showing up tomorrow.
Yeah, he's not.
He's showing up tomorrow.
Oh,
I-
now you're
look,
going to Rhett's side.
He's not.
He's going.
Here's the thing.
He's showing up.
Anakin will show up tomorrow.
Garrison, you cannot show weakness to Rhett here.
Oh, yeah. You've got to go
Mean
all
out
in.
of this?
I don't.
You've got to
I
go
don't-
all in.
You have
Water.
less than 24 hours to figure this out. You don't have to give
Where
in
does-
now.
Where does Rex show up? When does he show up? I don't understand. How
Who?
would he show up?
Who?
Zeb, you mean? Yeah.
Zeb. you
Zeb,
meant
whatever.
Rex
Zeb,
already
yeah.
showed up.
Rex was
right on
already
that
in
one.
the series.
Yeah.
Zeb
Zeb.
will show up when Hera calls him up and says, "Hey, we got to go address the fact that Thrawn has just entered into our galaxy," and then he'll show up.
Like the end of the episode on like a
Yeah,
hologram.
maybe like the very end. Maybe like the
Okay, I'll give
very
that,
like
but he's-
last 1 second
He's not
appearance.
showing up for the conflict. He's
I
not
didn't-
at all.
I just said he's
Or-
gonna be in the episode.
At all.
Well,
No,
I'm
he's
just saying-
showing up.
Yes,
he may
yes,
show up at
Andrew.
the end.
Look,
But-
I think I'm probably wrong on this by this point, but he's showing up.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah,
you just have to stick
I've
to
got
it.
to go all in
I'm
on
not
Yeah.
going to get my hopes up.
No, but it clearly means a lot to you guys. I hope he does. I mean, I hope he does for your sakes. I hope he does.
The only reason it means anything is I just want to be right and you to be wrong.
Oh, I know. That's awesome.
I couldn't give a rip about the
No,
character.
I did.
Right,
I
I
do
know,
think
and
it
I
would
guess-
be nice.
And by you're really leaning into that, and it's just going to
So-
make the disappointment worse, right?
Well, yeah, I've got to. Eventually, I'll get to the other side if I just keep digging.
My only problem and my only like worry is because Ezra has said once or twice in the last episode and definitely twice in this episode that, hey guys, I really think I'm gonna be going home. Makes you wonder if he's not going home at all ever and he's gonna die. I mean, because they're leaning into that. They're leaning into that way
Why-
too much.
Why would you kill Ezra that fast? That'd
Yeah,
be
he's
so
not gonna-
dumb.
Well, a hero moment if he has a hero
know-
moment.
No,
do you
they
know
don't have
how?
the guts to
Do you
any
know
of
the
that.
reaction that would get from at least the Rebels fan base?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my
look,
gosh.
I mean,
Twitter-
every one of these characters
Meltdown.
has to die.
That's your
eventually.
biggest fans of the show right
No,
now.
They don't have the guts. They don't have the guts for it. Nobody
I,
important will die.
I
But-
disagree that they have to die eventually because we said that in Rebels too, right? We're like, well,
Right.
they can't be around during the
I get it.
OT,
No,
and they
that's
found a
fine.
way around it.
I just think that like they've said that so many times in last episode, this episode, like they keep leaning into that particular sentiment so many times that it makes you think, okay, well, they're not actually going to let him ever get back to the galaxy.
No, I don't think he gets back at the end of the season. I think they stick.
No.
I think they're stuck there. I think Thrawn gets back and they're stranded.
That's a good cliffhanger. I
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, yeah, that's probably going to happen.
And I think
but-
they're stranded with Balin.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah,
Balin's
it's
got
some-
that.
yeah,
Balin
there's
is
something
really the most interesting character
Yeah,
that I
he's
think
the one I care
Filoni's ever
about when he's on-
created. Like
Yeah.
he's just
He's
like
the one I
really
care about
interesting.
when he's on screen. I want to hear what he says. I want to see what he does. I like. I mean, obviously Stevenson is fantastic in the
Oh
role.
gosh, that's such a
he's
shame.
really for me. He's really the high point of it.
I mean, he
I
did.
think
There was
and he's not pure villain. Like there's no mustache twirling. Like he has his own
Right.
agenda. There's an honor to him also that I think is
Yeah.
that I think
That's
they
fair.
could really do a lot with. It makes me sad, frankly. I like the character so much, and if the character continues, it will not be the same. They will not be able to capture what Stevenson has done with the character with
Yeah,
anyone else. I don't think.
Today I was trying to think like who, and I can't honestly think of
Stevenson,
anyone
obviously.
that's out there that could fill the shoes.
Right.
I
Yeah, and
was
you
thinking
wouldn't
of, like,
want to.
other-
It's the guy that. It's the guy.
Oh,
who's
the
a
guy
great person.
the guy that was the villain in Black Widow, maybe if he lost some weight.
Somebody on
yeah,
Twitter.
He's a good actor. He's a good
Yeah,
actor.
I know, but
that
that
guy.
maybe, but he's not.
Winstone, Winstone.
Yeah. Right. I don't think he's. I don't think that's him.
He's a little shorter, obviously, but I mean,
I could have sworn I saw somebody on
Considerably
Twitter
shorter, isn't he?
begging for them to cast Gerard Butler.
that could work. That could work. No,
He's a little
Gerard
short
has
too, but
gravitas.
but you put a beard
know
on
what?
him, and maybe I think he's
I
a little
will-
shorter than you want him to be, though, right?
You know what? Let's go Steven Seagal for.
No, stop.
Look, we're trying to say Brits or Aussies or somebody like with an accent that has
Yes, this.
like there's. I think Gerard Butler could work actually. He's
Yeah,
got
that's
some-
not a terrible.
that's not a terrible
No.
idea.
And
He definitely
he's
needs
not.
to
He
work.
doesn't stick out. Like there's there's nothing about Gerard Butler that sticks out as like he's not a unique actor. He doesn't have a unique voice in his roles.
That
to
movie
me.
that he was in this year.
It's very
Um,
everyman kind of,
was good.
I think it'd be good. Or you could get Gary Oldman to do it because he can do anything.
He's
You
too
never
old.
know. You
though.
never. He
He's
might be
too
Gary
old.
Oldman now. You never know.
You never know. You do never know. There was like one or two private chat. Why are we getting in the private? What's going on? In the
It's the
private
tweet.
chat?
I found the tweet.
Oh, that guy.
I tried
I'm
clicking
not-
on it and then
I'm
I
not-
realized it made me go black on the screen.
It
So I was
did
like,
make
you know
me
what?
go
Never
black.
mind.
I'm not clicking on that. I know that guy, and I'm not clicking on that guy's tweet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just whatever. We don't have to say his name.
Oh,
But
okay.
Yeah, he was just a blowhard. But there's a couple tidbits like in that trial that were kind of interesting. I think that's the first time we've heard Gideon mentioned in that way. Where they acknowledge, that Gideon was kind of a failure or whatever, and
the context
Xiono was using that because they were talking about Imperial Remnant. He was like Gideon, whatever. I mean, he was a nothing burger.
Yeah, I mean, he dismissed it, but Kim's
he dismissed
convenience
everything.
was like, what about what was happening on Mandalore? And then they throw the point in Star Wars line about Gideon. I did not like that courtroom scene at all. I've said before, I think everything that the New Republic touches on this show is just embarrassing.
But it tracks though with how they've shown us what the New Republic has become, though.
Sort of, you get somebody who I think we're meant to believe that's Akbar next to him. I think.
Never said. Never. Why didn't they?
Undetermined, but certainly the uniform's the same. You're led to believe that. He doesn't say a word, right? So if it is Akbar,
it's a trap.
It's like it's character assassination almost, where he just doesn't even have an opinion of it. I don't like the New Republic is such bumbling fools that
they're just bureaucracy. They've just become in the 5 years or whatever.
It is worse than that. It's not just red tape. They are being portrayed as buffoonery, and for me, and this is my personal opinion on it. I like entertainment where the people the story doesn't have to be propelled by stupidity. Right.
Yeah.
I agree with this. I think a better angle. I think a better angle they should have gone with, and maybe they've kind of left the door open, is of like this Ziodo and like some of these other people are playing off as stupid, but really they're still Imperial loyalists.
Right. Yeah. If you got that payoff, then maybe that.
Yeah.
But this isn't the only time we've seen the Republic be just
no, for sure.
Right?
And I fully agree. The New Republic
season 3 also.
They're really terrible.
And I gotta say, looking at politics in real life, there are definitely not a lot of idiots in the government right now.
No, you're that's a fair point. But they are I don't know. Just when your plot moves only because people have to do the dumbest possible things, then it feels like disingenuous to me, and it kind of removes me from the immersion because that's just not my jam. And then they're having to do that with the New Republic because of where JJ left the galaxy, and I know that's what this is about, but it's just so painful to watch, and you just don't want.
Well, I mean, I think that there definitely could have been a different way to get to why the Resistance has come about. And I think that's why they're leaning into it so much, showing us just how crappy the New Republic is, to show how easy it was for Leia and others to form the Resistance, to get themselves out of the bureaucracy and the stupidity or whatever of the New Republic. It's not great. I agree with you, Rhett. Look, it's not a great storytelling device. I mean, it's just it's kind of weird. I don't get it. It doesn't make much sense, but I mean.
Yeah, they ought to like really downplay it. Like they ought to write around it. Like let's try not to show. Let's try not to show so much of that because they're just really done. And then that episode of Mando that was set on Coruscant, where they were just like, this is they're just the worst. There have been a couple of appearances in this show where they're just the worst. Mando, with Tim Meadows as some bureaucrat is just the worst.
It's not great casting.
It's not fun to watch. I mean, you don't want to root for them. Like I don't know. I hate what they've done with that.
I think I have said in the past that the stunt casting does bother me a bit in certain ways. It works sometimes, Garrison. It works sometimes.
But who is going Tim Meadows stunt casting?
That is.
Like there's a difference in a Brian Posehn who was in the opening episode of Mandalorian. I knew that was him.
Right.
But it was just this real subtle thing. Like Tim Meadows is full face on. He's practically doing the ladies' man voice. Like it's,
he's acting like Tim Meadows.
It's just so weird that they just keep using these like SNL comedians.
I know it is kind of strange.
Like Tim Meadows in a vacuum isn't a big deal, but it's
sure.
Then
It's just
on the flip side of that, Bill Burr was great cast. Bill Burr had
exactly
the single best performance
Exactly.
in Mandalorian
Hey.
to me. Like he nailed it in that
that
episode.
one episode, especially.
I enjoy when he
Yeah.
was on the screen, and he really disappeared into it.
All right, let's see here. The Leia name dropped to get Hera out of being kicked out of the. Well, look, they had to do. Look, they've got to keep bringing Leia's name up. I mean,
I actually liked that
I
she
thought it
was
was
involved. I liked
Yeah.
that she was involved in some of the process there.
yeah,
For
And
once, I
it
mean,
makes
those
sense
characters
because-
are very important,
Mhm.
and I also like that. Look, I like that they didn't go and put a CG version of her out there, and they said, "Hey, sometimes C-3PO can take something of hers and go and do that while she's busy doing other stuff." I was
Right.
fine with that in that moment.
Yeah, I don't know that it was executed perfectly, but I think it is important to say that our characters that we know are out there and they are active and involved, because that's one of the problems that I've had with this is where is everybody? Like what? Like it's the problem you have with these shared universes that start to get a little sprawling. You know, you have it, but it's what I remember the first time I really felt it anywhere was Thor 2. I'm like, well, where's everybody else? You know, why isn't anybody else?
Yeah,
well, that happens a lot in the MCU. Like,
Right,
why
no,
isn't
and
so-and-so
that's where
helping out?
That's where it's
Not
started,
just
and now you
comics
see-
too.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
like Star Wars has gotten kind of bloated enough to where you start to feel it here too.
well, and I do like what I was meaning is like little tidbits of information. I like that she's the leader of the Defense Council. Like she's got a prominent position. I mean, that's stuff that we didn't necessarily know that I'm glad they've told us.
And I like that like the other senator's not Mothma. Like Ziodo is like, oh
Yeah.
God, Leia. Like you can tell that they're frustrated by her as well, and kind of setting up where that character
Sure.
is like
Yeah,
outside.
because she's a
of the New
hero.
Republic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they're tired of obviously like 3PO. The guy was like, "This stupid droid, don't let him in." I mean, why are we letting a droid dictate what's happening here?
I thought it was a little bit of a letdown that she's slumming it in the Senate. You know, the Senate's never been particularly good at anything in
No.
any of its forms. You know, and it doesn't seem to be too great here either.
Well, the problem being is like for her
beneath her. You know, she was a senator when she was 19. It seems beneath her now.
right, but if you've got like Chancellor Mon Mothma, there's really nothing
I know
to
they could.
do. I mean,
there's all sorts of things that she could have done that would have been more. You know, just a senator. I don't know. I thought that was beneath her, but it wasn't.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's
What
good to
planet
see
is she
get the
representing?
reference. Right, yeah, or
Good
group
question.
of system. Well, that's another thing. They've never been real clear about how any of that works. You know,
yeah,
one planet, is it one system? Is it one sector? Is it one quadrant? No, who knows?
Right. So, you know, Mon Mothma confronts Hera there at the end. Hera's like, you know, we have to prepare for the worst, hope for the best. I mean, that's a very Star Wars sentiment there. I mean, so nobody believes Thrawn is that big of a threat, but Hera is trying to convince them that Thrawn's a pretty big threat.
I didn't like the way they shot Hera in that one. They shot her from the front, and I prefer to watch her walk.
So does Filoni. So does Filoni, apparently. I mean, you know. So the trial thing, I was okay with the trial stuff because it was bound to happen. I mean, because Hera was getting and doing things off the books for the most part, and so of course that Ziono guy wants to bring her to trial and blah blah blah, but he gets put in his place. So good. Then we got the Anakin hologram. This may have been the first time I teared up a little bit, just a little bit. It's not like I'm freaking openly weeping, but just anytime, like it is amazing to me that Hayden Christensen has been basically in fandom's eyes fully redeemed for the prequels. Like those people that just hated Attack of the Clones and all the junk in that, the love story stuff in that. I mean, he's good and he's really good even as a hologram.
He's got better directors, just somebody who's just not faster, more intense.
Faster, more intense.
Right.
And he still got it right. There's some continuity there because he hasn't had to think about acting in any other roles since then. He just came right to.
That's
true. He's been in a lot of Canadian independent.
You didn't
films.
remember Jumper?
Looper.
Yeah, Jumper.
That was Jumper. That's
Jumper.
Right.
That directed by Doug Lyman, I think.
Yeah. Jumper wasn't.
Looper, of course, is Ryan Johnson,
right.
the great Ryan Johnson.
The Academy Award nominee Ryan Johnson.
One thing I thought during that scene with the hologram was I hope that when she had the chance, Ahsoka showed those to Luke. She seemed like she had several training holograms.
It's like 200 of them or something.
I hope that he got to see his father young and able and good.
Yeah, we can only hope.
And maybe even use some of those for his own training. That was the thing that struck me. I thought, well, that would be nice. I don't know if anybody thought about it on the Lucasfilm side of the house. Did that happen? They don't really, nothing is ever said or happens off screen with these guys. So who knows? But I hope that's something that happened. That makes me feel good if it did.
So I did have a Rhett moment in this particular episode. Enoch coming on the screen. Grand Admiral Thrawn, just as you predicted, the whales have entered into the minefield, and there's a Jedi starship. I mean, just as you, I got mad at that line. Just as you predicted, because you're.
I knew it was coming.
Guys.
There was nonstop. Oh, that didn't quite go our way, but that is just as I predicted.
Yeah. Guys,
think
but
of the situation that we are. No, I know. And that's not a complaint from me.
Rebels.
I know.
That is exactly what happened in Rebels. It's not a complaint from me at all.
Stuff I've read from the Zahn trilogy.
It's close. It's close, but
listen. This is nitpick. You guys will be apoplectic over it, and like I'm the problem here. But
wait, before you go on, did you see the little space plankton or whatever floating around? That's what the whales eat.
Okay. So so he's like, go deal with, the whales are incoming, whatever. Yeah. So go deal with it. And he dispatches whoever. The Chimera is still planet side at this point.
Yeah, it's still
somebody with these limited resources in a couple of minutes laid 100,000 magnetic mines in space. Okay.
No, what do you mean? They've had 10 years to. They've been there for 10 years. They had the chance to put those lines.
They were not there. They deployed those. They had no expectation that the whales would bring trouble until then. They deployed that. We are meant to believe they just deployed them. And
okay. I thought that they were there from the beginning.
Yeah. No, because they weren't there when the big space ring, hyperspace ring
came
showed
in
up.
along to roughly even if it was a different trajectory, they had no reason to mine the whales because they didn't expect anybody to come in.
Also, it's probably.
Okay. So I thought that was that was just I don't know.
That's
I wish
fair. Good observation.
Better way to do that.
What's going on? Oh yeah, that's right. MFL.
Like a 95-yard pick six. Yep, pick six.
A 95-yard pick six.
Yeah, for the Seahawks.
Dang.
Daniel Jones, doo-doo.
Yeah, he's been doo-doo.
That's just like there's never going to be a good. There's never going to be a good quarterback named Daniel Jones. That's not a good quarterback name.
Yeah. Who wants quarterbacks out of Duke? Don't pick Riley Leonard in a couple of years.
See, now Riley Leonard, that's a good quarterback lane.
That's a good lacrosse.
It's a good
Riley Leonard is that's a
lacrosse name.
It is. It's like a Matt Leinart. Like fine name,
that's a
but
good
like
quarterback name. Matt Leinart.
No, good college quarterback name, bad NFL quarterback name.
Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback name ever.
It's very generic.
I don't like it at all.
No, that's the guy that sits on the bench. He's your number 2, and then somebody goes down in the playoffs, and this guy throws for 320.
You're on like your 5th year of your Madden franchise, and that's a quarterback in the 3rd round that you draft.
Yeah, it was never meant to work for him.
The name is auto-generated.
Computer generated name.
Yeah, he's the guy who's going to be selling insurance soon. Yeah.
CPU 3. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, the minefield thing in hindsight, that's disappointing. For some reason, I thought that was like there already as part of the planetary defense system.
Yeah, I don't
but
think we're meant to believe that.
But I guess not.
There was a ring around the planet, wasn't there?
There's a ring of the dead space whales because the story is that.
That's where they go to die.
That's where they go to die. Like they're at the end of their life. So it's like salmon.
It's like a cat.
All of the space whales that just got there were being killed, and we're like, oh, we don't want to die, and they bounced out.
And they jetted out. Yeah. It is. I wouldn't want to try. I liked the whole inquisitorial database concept. They got information on.
It was nice of them to
Ahsoka.
download the entire Imperial data banks into their ring ship before they left. That was smart.
I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Specifically, though, when you got the Inquisitor database, which I'm sure is probably not a gigantic file, just probably what they have.
What are we doing talking about file size?
We don't know anything about the file size.
Look, I mean, probably 500 megabytes here. I mean, come on.
Somebody's got a USB drive in his pocket. No, it's one of those little cylinders.
It's the little cylinders. Yeah, exactly.
And all of the Imperial knowledge in one of those things.
Look, I mean, Vader could have inputted a lot of that Ahsoka stuff if he really just behind the scenes.
Problem with the
quietly
inquisitorial
could have
database.
input all that stuff if you wanted to.
Yeah, no, I mean, they had their own base. Of course,
I feel like the Inquisitors probably had a lot of info on Ahsoka at this point.
Yeah, exactly. One of those drives with the handles. One of those like
a big old cartridge.
The best MacGuffin ever.
That was like an 8-bit. It was just an 8-bit circle. Yes. Man, what are their data? They need to learn to use WinRAR.
Oh, I forgot Anakin's mention of Asajj Ventress. That was pretty awesome.
Dooku gets a shout out.
Dooku, Asajj. Well, Asajj was bigger for me because has Asajj ever been mentioned in live action before?
No.
That was pretty awesome. I mean, I was for that because wasn't she a former witch?
Yes.
Yeah. Canon. Yeah, I think that's
canon. Yeah.
And she was a big part of the Clone Wars, wasn't she?
Yeah, because her and Savage both were. Well,
Savage.
Like they're from the same planet type of deal.
It just seems like a low bar for awesome to me. Like to say they said a word and that's awesome.
Look,
a name.
Okay, well, I don't know.
That's awesome.
Let me tell you what, I would like to see live action Asajj Ventress. That would be pretty nice.
I would like to see. In fact, the girl that's playing Shin Hati would probably have been a good actress to use to play Asajj Ventress. I mean,
I think that Nebula girl could probably do it.
Yeah,
Karen Gillan.
Karen Gillan.
Good bald head.
I don't want to see her shave her head again. But.
No, I don't either. I like.
Wait, what's who played?
Wait.
I can't remember her name. Oh, my brain's the one that was in Doctor Strange as the lady, the girl that trained.
Oh yeah.
She's a bad bald head.
Old,
Tilda Swinton.
Oh God.
Andrew, absolutely not, Andrew. That's Will is going to slap you. Get her name out of your mouth. Get her name out of your mouth, Andrew.
I can't believe you called her bald, Andrew. Come on,
Andrew.
You are going to get slapped.
She's got alopecia. Jeez.
She's got alopecia, Andrew.
Good grief.
Get her name out of your mouth.
Andrew's about 5 minutes away from winning an Oscar.
Or getting slapped.
Or getting slapped. I guess Chris Rock was the one that said it, huh?
Oh, gosh.
Good stuff.
So, the Force and Sabine continues to be a bit of a mystery. Ahsoka was able to talk to her through the Force or whatever. Sabine felt her. I mean, but I don't know. Her powers fluctuate from episode to episode.
But that could also have been more Ahsoka's power than Sabine.
Sure. I was about to say we've had Luke reach out to Leia in the films, and Leia wasn't really shown to be that.
No, that's true. That's a good point.
Mary Poppins did across the sky, or when she beat Luke in lightsaber training in that turd.
That's
of
in
a
the sequel trilogy.
He's talking about in the
Empire Strikes Back.
That was our first little hint. Well, that was our little hint that she's got it in her blood, right?
If you want to get, I can get a little pretentious with this and talk about how, and take it a little bit too seriously. If you want to talk about like how maybe the Force works,
okay,
and
do it.
I know a lot of the times, a lot of Christians would like to think that Star Wars is a Christian allegory, which it probably isn't. It's a little bit more
absolutely not
Eastern focused than we may want it to be. But the communion with the Force could be looked at as communion with God a little bit, and how that may or may not work. Where sometimes people have the gift of like being able to see God's plan in a
discernment.
discerned way.
Okay.
Other people sometimes maybe it speaks to them when they really need it to, or like when they're not expecting it, type of deal.
Mhm.
So I look at it like this Force communication stuff, kind of like this, like that with Sabine, where like if she's like really focusing and like actually like trying and like listening, like it may happen. Or if she's like not thinking about it at all, maybe it's also more likely to happen
Revelation.
in that way, type of deal. You know what I mean?
Well, and we can also say for the first time in a while that at least from a storytelling standpoint that we've been told, she's desiring to try and tap into the Force more now than she was in years past after Ahsoka cut her loose or whatever. We don't know the story behind why or how or what with all that. But now she's wanting to tap into the Force a little bit more. So maybe that's what. Maybe that.
Well, along those lines, Jacob, I mean, in my head canon, I always felt like the Force was a character and it had its own will, and
Right.
that explained some of the goofy little things about it, right? Like okay, this happens because it has a grander plan, and these are
then the midichlorian of it all happens.
yeah, and I just ignore that. But in my head canon, like I always felt like sometimes, I would have liked to see the Force fail characters from time to time, right? Because they were trying to do something that was against the will of the Force, against that grander plan, and they couldn't do it. It was never explored in that depth, but that was always kind of my headcanon. So yeah, I felt it was that's very similar to I think the way you're thinking about it.
Well, and like it's very OT type of thinking of it, because I'm right there with you. Like even like some of the like R2 and 3PO stuff can be explained away, not
like
away, but like
meant for that to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. There were blind spots and memories here. There were, all these things because it all came together because the Force was trying to achieve balance, and it cut corners here and there to do it, that was just my headcanon. They didn't really flesh it out. No, and I hated. Let me tell you, I hated the way the Force was portrayed in Legends. I never liked what EU did with it, with the the twins, the kids. They would create these Force storms in space,
super beings,
all overpowered insanity.
Right.
And I never liked that. And I don't love Filoni's approach to it. I don't love
Well, what do you think of the Vong sense?
Yeah, I don't remember what the Vong sense was exactly. I remember them. I know they were outside.
Well, so they were outside the Force, but certain Force users got the Vong sense, so they could detect.
Yeah, well, that would be the Force throwing them a bone because it wanted,
right,
one thing or another. But it's something. Look, the analogy doesn't hold all the way.
So one of my favorite lines of the episode is when Balin is kind of cutting Shin loose at that part, and he says, "Your ambition drives you in one direction, my path leads in another." I freaking love Balin. It's like, I know we've said it a lot, but he may be the best character. He's out of like all of these shows, I like him because of the unknown of him.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no clear.
He's on a path, which obviously clouded path now, with the real life circumstances, but of possibly being one of the best Disney created Star Wars characters.
Well, okay. Well, let's not go that far. Well, I'll say like
better than Rey, better than the sequel trilogy characters. But
well, no, he's not.
It's the
I
Andor.
Like him, I don't like him as much as like Mando or Baby Yoda or.
I guess you do have to count. Baby
or even like Gideon.
Mandalorian's almost he's almost an NPC or a player character to me. Like he's almost a Master Chief.
Well, this is true.
The mask,
he especially
does a lot.
He's not actually. Yeah, when the actor's not actually on set.
Right, it's not him. There's some distance to him where he almost doesn't feel like a character, but an avatar for you, almost.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
But yeah, no, I think he's great, and I worry that I've seen a couple of references to this Abeloth character. Is that right? And I think that's an old.
You're going to
that's a
areas I don't know.
real witchy fantasy version of Star Wars that I don't like.
Well, we're sort of there.
Some of the animated stuff that I didn't love.
But we're sort of there now, though.
I know we are. I know.
The grandmothers and all of them.
I don't connect with it as much because I don't.
Yeah.
That's not the side of Star Wars I
mean, that's definitely a Filoni thing. And he is fully, with this particular series, fully introducing that into canon even more than it already was.
Well, it was a BD thing too.
Once it goes into live action, I think it hits another level of canon. All the animated stuff, not diminishing it at all, but once you introduce the Night Sisters,
it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Legends did a lot of that too. That's one of the reasons I connected with Legends is it got a little too far out into the. I didn't like holocrons and them having their own mystical powers and all that. I was like, there are beings, there's the Force, and then they started putting all this other stuff in there because you got to put pages out. But I just didn't love all of that, and then there's some of that going on now, and that's probably why I don't connect to it too well.
Yeah, Andrew. I mean, look. I mean, technically speaking, you're stealing anyway. Whatever.
Look, yeah, that's they should.
They should do that. I think Netflix should do it. I think everybody should.
Have your kids taken away from you if you're
exactly. They should be thrown into dungeons.
What is wrong with you guys? Suckle that teat
corporate,
of the corporate.
I love it.
Lick those boots. No.
Jacob, these companies are billions of dollars in the debt.
They got to do something.
Yeah. Bob Iger got to eat, Jacob.
Yeah, for real.
And I'm not even joking right now.
If he was homeless, this world would be better off.
In every country that they've done this in, they have seen a jump up in subscribers because people are just like, crap, I'll just pay anyway.
Yeah, they're committed to it. It's smart to not lead off like that, right? You wait a few years and then you crack down while you get everybody addicted to your service.
But listen, I mean, Jacob, you have to understand that it's been months since Iger has had a manatee steak. And he needs a manatee steak. It's black market. He needs it. And so, I mean, it's, he's got to cut.
Here's the thing. I agree that, like, I shouldn't be sharing it with my person I met for a night at the bar. I shouldn't be sharing it with that
depends
person.
On the payoff, I guess.
I mean, I shouldn't be sharing it with an acquaintance.
Right.
But I think
you don't post it on a message board, right? Yeah.
Right.
Family, that's okay to me. I don't have a real
even family out of the same household. Like my brother, mom, and I share streaming services, right? So my brother pays for Disney Plus. My mom pays for Hulu and Netflix. I pay for Max and Paramount Plus. Because otherwise, I didn't mean to go there with that, but that's not what I meant. But that's what it sounded like I meant.
Right.
I think it's like you should have 3 households that you're allowed to share with.
Yeah.
Hey, at the end of a night, Roth is like, I got 2 things. You can't have the password. You better not be here when I wake up.
Cab money is on the nightstand. There's an Uncrustable in
the
freezer
this
you
is
can
my
take
house.
home with you.
All right, so let's dive into what I came to find out. A lot of people had an immediate negative reaction because it brought back memories of the sequel trilogy to a lot of people. And they were upset that Ezra turned down the lightsaber and the blaster.
Yeah, it was just. I don't think Force karate is a terrible idea. I did not like the way it was executed. I thought the choreography was terrible. I mean, in theory, it's not terrible. Vader did a little bit of something similar to that in the Kenobi series with his little fight with Reva.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I mean, in fact, I would love to see it incorporated more, maybe into some of the duels and other scenarios. I don't think that was particularly well executed. But
hang on, I got to address something in the chat, Andrew. Your mom never needs to watch this show.
Yeah, let me tell you,
never
that's
should.
on you. That's on you.
Never
If you're
should.
putting this
That's
on
unless-
TV, that's on you, man. You deserve what you
Never needs to watch.
Unless she's
this.
asking that same question that Ryan
Now.
was. Never mind. I'm not going.
This is
there.
never don't say that.
Now, if we start talking about
He's just-
Auschwitz pizza again,
No, Garrison,
Yeah, she's going
Stop
to do
it.
this tall drink of water is up in the left corner.
stop it.
So,
You're gonna get YouTube's gonna start taking my money. They're not only gonna like never monetize me, they're gonna take my money if I want to stay on their platform.
do this Last Jedi Luke Ezra
Yeah.
this episode thing. I
Yeah, yeah,
didn't like after this episode aired and I saw Twitter saying stuff like that. I
it
thought
was
it was
immediate
stupid
reaction
because
yeah.
Yeah,
it's so different. If Ezra
Yeah.
was like got back in the pod and said, "Sabine, you take care of this. We're out. I don't care what happens to you."
Right. He
then
acknowledged.
yeah, I'd have
yeah.
a problem with that.
Yeah.
But he was like, "No, like, hey, you're the one that's training to be the Jedi. You use the lightsaber. Like, I want to see you do this." And he was like, "I think I can handle myself without it." Like, it
Also,
wasn't like
Bro was rusty with the lightsaber. He hadn't touched one in
Right.
like 10 years.
and like
or whatever,
it wasn't like he was like I'm just all for peace. No, he was like kicking. He was
Yeah.
holding
Well,
his own. Like,
my only problem was then Shin was able to like force push him, and I don't like if
But
he's
they
gonna
all
say
did.
that.
he
that force push
started
thing is. Go ahead.
he started charging at her, and then she took him by surprise with the force
Yeah.
push because he didn't.
All
Anyway,
right.
Force
maybe-
push
maybe.
works when the plot needs it to work, and nobody
the force
tries
push
it
was
in any
only
other
so
time. It's like that
for
all
Sabine
through
and
Star Wars.
Shin to lock sabers.
but he
with
also he didn't counter it in any way. He just got pushed
Right.
back. I mean,
He just got pushed
yeah.
back. Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
so-
like that because he was acting like he didn't need a weapon. He was like, the
But
force is my weapon.
But
I like the idea of it,
but
and
Right.
weapon nonetheless. He's not a pacifist.
Right? Yeah.
I-
Right.
I did not get Luke TLJ vibes.
No,
from that.
I didn't get
No.
that. I didn't get that. But
no, I really like the idea of it. I still like the idea of it, and I would like to see it expanded upon. I don't really think we saw a lot of it. I mean, and like
it
Rat
makes
was
it
saying, I
fun.
didn't think the choreography was amazing. They should go out and get someone like the Shang-Chi choreographers, the Shang-Chi choreographers,
That
or
guy knows how
something.
to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
they definitely didn't have Nick Gillard on set for this.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't he
Well,
wasn't hanging
I don't
around.
mind that. Yeah, in theory, I think it works. I didn't love the execution, and hopefully we'll see some more of it along the way. That scene was plagued by one of the things that happens a lot in not just Star Wars, but a lot of movies like this is you stop using your ranged weapons when the good guys pull out their melee weapons, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
you've got ranged weapons, you have air support. You ain't got to get out of your ship at all to do these to fight these guys.
Right.
Just mow them down.
Mhm.
But that's not how Star Wars works for whatever reason, and that's not how a lot of other things work
Mhm.
too. But it's just one of those things that you're always like, oh, I mean, if all this is dependent on people doing, if
The
I
only
can
series
come up
that
with
did
a better
that-
plan, and I'm not that smart, what does that say about the?
The only series like to my mind that like actually like doesn't treat it like that is like John Wick. Like John Wick did a pretty good job of like
Yeah, they just make them invincible with
Right.
their
Right.
shirts or bulletproof shirts or whatever.
Bulletproof
Yeah.
jackets. Yeah.
They take that away.
yeah.
But yeah, they and there's almost you can also write that one off as like there's this weird sense of honor
Mhm.
among all those people, and they're trying to I don't know,
Mhm.
but yeah, John Wick it's like a fun cartoon, and this is like
Yes.
a
Mhm.
dumb cartoon to me. That's
I did like the fact personally that the stormtroopers were not apparently zombies.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't have more zombie weird stuff or whatever was going on with Moloch. Was that his name?
Merrick?
Mollusk.
Oh.
I can't even-
Marrok, right?
Yeah,
Merrick.
Marok.
Marok.
Okay.
Marok. Yeah.
I completely
was-
forgot that character even existed.
Well,
Really,
yeah.
ever gonna find out what that was about?
Well, it was
Well, it was-
clearly
it
like
was
witch
clearly-
magic stuff.
It was
Yeah.
just a Night Sister thing. It turned green.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it's
goofy.
fine, but I'm just glad that every single stormtrooper isn't the same.
Didn't turn to smoke every time they got shot.
Exactly. I didn't want to see
And
green
I thought
smoke
that was
every time.
look. I on some level it's a missed opportunity because I think the And I think their uniforms, what they did with all the stormtroopers, looks great.
It looks cool. It's just a
I like that idea of the being filled in. That Japanese art of whatever. I like that sense where they are broken and fixed like that, and maybe there is something not undead, but animated to a point beyond. Maybe they're injured and kind of in a in a state that almost catatonic, where they're just kind of automatons. I think they could have. I expected them to do something with it, and I don't. Apparently, I don't guess they will now, which is fine.
It's like, in all honesty, it just may have been like, hey, we don't want to spend the budget on doing this a lot when these stormtroopers get shot. I mean, maybe it's as simple as that. I don't know. Another line I liked a lot that Balin said to Shin: impatience for victory will guarantee defeat. I mean, simple line, but still, I mean, he's still teaching her right up to the point that he's like kicking her out and saying, I'm done with you. You go on your own path. I'm going this way. Which led to, of course, Ahsoka saying, I can help you when she shows up there. I mean, the Shin character could be interesting. Fett Maddox, right? I mean, and Fett, welcome back. It's been a minute, buddy. The night troopers will mow down Sabine and Ezra with their transport. They are not built for that. Right. No. Yeah, the transports are not. You're right. But I think what Rhett was saying was in general, they've got weapons that could theoretically.
You've got air superiority. You've got ranged weapons. Like, get close enough to be stabbed with a lightsaber when you have a gun. Like,
right.
Right. It's the same thing as like when like sword fights happen and there's like 8 guys surrounding one guy. The 8 guys fight him one at a time.
Right.
I mean,
the only time that's ever been done right is in Indiana Jones when the guy swing the sword around and Indy shoots.
Right. And all because Harrison Ford was sick that day.
Harrison Ford had explosive diarrhea.
Or so the story goes. Like, who knows if that's really the reason, but that's the story goes. Yeah.
Look, the plane fight's great too. He's just getting the crap beat out of him until a propeller takes the guy out.
Right. No, you're right. No, it's very true. Very true. Man, I think we've covered just about everything.
I mean, so the end is kind of Thrawn getting the credit for being super genius again by finding a delaying action, which Sun Tzu wrote about, which von Clausewitz wrote about. It's basic military stuff. It's not that.
Sure.
Maybe he's the Sun Tzu.
He's the Sun Tzu of maybe
he's going to write
art of that until he.
Well, no, they do. But that's certainly what they want you to think of the character, that he is superior in all ways when it comes to military tactics.
Right. But the only way to there was not a particular maneuver that was really cool. You're not going to like this comparison, but I'll do it anyway.
We have taken away her time.
There's a great scene in Battlestar Galactica reboot. Where they're trying to free everybody from New Caprica, and the maneuvers are strategic and they make sense and they're surprising, and then they test the capabilities of the hardware, puts it right up to the edge, and I'd like to see something like that, but instead we just get this kind of mundane action, and then somebody says what a brilliant move that was, and it really.
No, my only argument, and it's not much of an argument, my only argument is that's never kind of been a Star Wars thing.
That's a character thing, though. But when we're just told that he's brilliant, but he doesn't do anything that's brilliant. Everything he does, we're just told is brilliant. But
he tells us why he's brilliant in this episode when he says that he sent them far away. He sent them way out into the planet to buy himself time.
Normal, basic tactic. That's not a
shocker.
Anyway, that's all.
That's what I was laughing at, by the way.
Yeah,
it's just more of that character where I think they're underdoing him a little bit. They're underselling him. If you don't just take everybody's word that he's a genius, they're not doing a great job really portraying it. So
they're gonna show us. I know you're big into the show, not tell. Mm-hmm. They're gonna show us in the finale how. No,
he's just going to They're going to dock with the ring and leave.
That'd be awesome if that was the last episode is just that.
4-minute episode. Never get to, yeah. Now they're loading something on the Chimera. I don't know exactly what they're loading on there.
Super weapon of some
type. It's in a lot of different similarly shaped boxes. If it's
I had an idea of what they were loading, and I forgot what it was.
Coaxium.
No,
Gosh,
no.
we will
Maybe-
never hear that again.
Unobtainium.
Maybe it's the start of what becomes Starkiller Base.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
The start of what
Kill
becomes
me. Bunch of
Starkiller
kyber
Base is a
crystals.
planet.
Yes, but the laser
It's
in
not.
there. You
No,
know.
because it was a kyber crystal heavy planet, wasn't it?
Ilum, wasn't
That
it?
was the crappy backstory for that.
Yeah. They decided it was
Probably.
Ilum where all the kyber crystals were for all the.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. Pretend it didn't happen.
Oh, what thought did I have?
Well, it's obviously
Oh,
something that
that's the-
only
I-
this planet has.
No, see, that's because they almost looked coffin-esque.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you think
So
it's
maybe it's
undead.
an army.
Oh,
undead
dead
type of thing.
Yeah,
bodies.
I feel like there's.
Dead
Yeah, I
bodies.
think we're being set up for something undead, and if it's not the
Yeah.
stormtroopers, it's something else. It's this witch power. That's what
Yep.
that's what
Yep.
Marak was foreshadowing. Is
Yeah.
this is this ability, this weird thing that these witches can do? I think. I mean,
I did like that the witches are.
That's a great idea.
The witches, and I know it's probably a means to an end for them, but the witches are very subservient to Thrawn. They obviously want to get back into the other galaxy as well.
Okay.
Well, they were
do you think
there.
were they, or
Not
are they
these. This is
from
the
this
home
They
planet?
were in our like if you're talking about like Clone
Girl said this
Wars.
was
No,
their
no.
home planet.
I'm talking about these three specific witches.
Well,
They're
maybe
native
maybe they've never been, but their ancestors, like Mother Talzin and all of those crazy
Well,
folks, were.
they rode the whales to the other galaxy. Are there only 3 left? Like what? Like is?
I think
are-
so. I think that's what
is-
we're led to believe. I think that's what we're led to believe, that there's only 3 left.
And I think that's true. And I think what Balin is searching for is what has taken out the other witches that didn't ride the space whales thousands of years ago.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Mm.
Well, I mean, what did they gain by going back to Dathomir? I mean, we don't truly know, other than maybe they want power. I mean, I mean, maybe they're trying to rekindle like the Night Sisters, or whatever they did to
He
the
did-
Zabrix. Zabrix? No, I don't know what they are.
This Zibber, yeah, that's Maul's species,
Yeah,
Savage and Maul.
Yeah.
This is how we get Maul back. We're gonna
Yeah.
have more
Yes.
Maul.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
Savage
more
Opress
Maul.
is
Let's
also gonna
go.
be
Red,
reanimated.
whatever
Oh
they're
yeah.
called.
But this time they find his legs. And he's just got
Just his legs.
the top part's a robot spider with human legs.
Be like
Yes.
Crimson Dusk or something. Is that what we're gonna?
Crimson Dawn. Crimson Dawn.
No, Crimson Dusk. This Crimson Dusk.
Oh, instead
Yep.
of Dawn.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see
yeah.
what you're doing. Okay.
Dawn already happened.
Dawn already happened. Yeah, dusk is. Oh, maybe this is how we get back Kira. Is she
We're
still
going
alive?
back to Tatooine,
Hmm.
and they're gonna sew Maul's upper half that's buried on Tatooine,
Right.
right next to Luke's homestead, back onto his legs that they found on Naboo.
And those legs ought to be in good shape by now.
Oh
here,
yeah.
30, 40 years later.
They're mummified. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, ultimately, I think, and I mean, I gave away my main prediction. I know Earl, even though he's not here, always wants to talk about predictions as we're wrapping up episodes. I gave away my main prediction which I don't think Ezra's ever getting home,
Mhm.
and I think like the dude dies. I think like
What?
I don't think he's ever getting back to the galaxy. I don't know what's going to happen to him.
I think that
He
would
could
be
have a
bad
hero's death.
storytelling.
He could have a hero's death. That's
Not
not bad.
tomorrow.
If he has
No,
a
but
hero's
like-
death, that's not bad.
Here's the thing: why? Like, I think about this like if like a character's like brought back to life, and then their life is put into jeopardy,
Yeah.
or you think a character died, and then like a season later, you're like, oh, the character didn't die. That character is probably not going to die for quite some time, right? Because there's no point of bringing them back.
Well,
It just is
but
needless
Walking Dead did
sacrifice.
that. Walking Dead did a fake out death for Glenn, and then a few episodes later, they bash his head in.
Well, Walking Dead though does that for shock value. I mean, that's,
yeah, I don't think he's going to die. I don't think the heroes get back.
Why are they having him say so many times?
Well, they're just this is not great.
Here's
This is not
exactly
Shakespeare.
what's going to happen. You guys were
I don't like
dead
them
on
doing it
about
so
the
many
short
times.
episode. It's going to be 4.5 minutes. 4 minutes is going to be them
We know how long it is, by
talking
the
and
way.
leaving, and then the
Yeah,
last
we know how
30
long
seconds
it's.
is going to cut to a shot
Zeb.
We're going to be at a bar, and a character is going to look up, unveil his hood, and it's Zeb, and he says, "Somehow Thrawn has returned."
Yeah.
Cut to black.
Yeah.
Cut to black. Fade to
The
black.
episode, by the way, is the third longest of the season. So
So
Dang it.
40,
Well, there goes
46
that. So
minutes
we're going to have a
about-
lot of Zeb. It's going to be a big,
Yeah.
long Zeb exposition about how Thrawn
49
has
minutes.
returned.
I think 42 of actual.
42 of
content.
actual stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's fine.
I don't
mean,
think they all get back. I don't think anybody major dies. Maybe Shin dies. I don't know. Don't care. I don't think.
I'll let you
She's a nothing burger. But
until she isn't.
But yeah, so Thrawn gets back. Whether I feel like they will probably abandon our people there.
Right.
I think
Makes sense.
maybe not.
You think they get onto the Chimera somehow?
Yeah, I mean that would be the way they get home, right? Is
Sure.
if they do that. I don't know what that looks like. I think Anakin makes another appearance as a Force ghost, given her that may be the she may be trapped there, and that may be kind of the send off, the comforting appearance by him, and
Right.
something like that. I don't think all of them get back. Maybe some get on the ship. Maybe I don't know. I don't know that they don't get split up. Nobody major dies. Certainly Zeb's not going to show up. I don't know that
Zeb is coming.
I don't think we'll get a whole lot more of Hera. I don't know where she would fit in into any of this unless they set up some sort of a rescue effort. But I don't know how she. I don't know. I don't know how she would factor into it. I don't think we get much. More
I think Thrawn leaves without the 4 people on the planet. I think Ahsoka, Ezra, Sabine, and Baylan are left there, and I think Baylan and those 3 are going to semi-team up. I don't know if team up is the right word, but I think maybe those 3 could follow Baylan after they see them leave, and Baylan discovers this greater power, and that is their way back next time.
We still haven't gotten the burn on Ahsoka's hand. Of the
map
yeah.
It's into her hand. Holy
yeah.
crap.
And that's how it works, because it's burned in, so it's reverse, and so they're able to reverse the course.
Exactly. Will this cause the old rebellion soldiers to coalesce back into the fighting unit? I think they were stuck in the politics of the room, and as much like I mean.
Yeah,
we've got to get to the resistance somehow. They've clearly
Yes,
been showing the ineptitude of the new rebellion pretty blatantly to the viewer. So I mean,
I don't think Thrawn
I go back.
is the first order. I don't think the resistance starts here.
No, but I disagree. I go back to some of those first things we heard about the Mandalorian. We are going to see how the First Order. The beginnings of the First Order,
right?
I still think that is the plan.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean,
we saw Filoni do it. Like this, it's been brought up. It's been beaten to death. But
the Shadow Council is the beginning
Filoni
of the First Order.
Clone War made the prequels better through Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
People are thinking Mandalorian, this Filoni Favreau verse, is going to make the sequel trilogies better through these TV shows, type of deal.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do.
Is the goal.
I mean, yeah, because they want to remind people how good the sequel trilogy is, so we can be excited for the Rey movie, which is what we're going to get first. That's the first movie that we're going to get. Stop it, Andrew. Football talk. That's fun. But yeah, I mean, I think this all leads to the First Order, and
I think Thrawn's return will. I think we'll see. I don't know about this episode, but I think more of this story will be told, whether it's in Ahsoka season 2 or not.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it leads to Leia and the Resistance forming, and like a splinter from the New Republic type of deal.
I think you're wrong. I think Apple buys Lucasfilm and maybe all of Disney, and they reboot it on Apple TV Plus.
Look, if
that happens, great.
Look, I say that in jest.
I wouldn't be shocked.
There's like a 15% chance of that happening, maybe.
Yeah.
The only reason that Apple would not buy Disney is because they don't see any money in it. I mean, they'd see only massive amounts of
Yeah,
depth.
they would like the IPs.
They would like the IPs, and
Yeah,
they would
no,
like.
Fett, I do
They
agree
don't want
with
the
Fett.
boats, and they don't want the parks, but man, they want the
Yeah.
IPs. They would
They
love
want-
the studio space.
Right, yeah,
They want
sure.
all of that. They also want all of the
Imagine
data
if-
that Disney Plus has collected.
Imagine if Apple owned Pixar. That'd be totally crazy. I mean, just like,
What
Everything
a
comes
messed up
Look,
world.
I do agree with
I agree
Fett
with
here.
that, Fett.
I don't think, obviously, Thrawn cannot survive. And I don't know.
No, yeah, that's your climax to whatever goofy story Filoni is telling, is that he loses somehow.
Yes, Thrawn definitely loses.
See, I
and
feel like
dies at some point.
you have to give Thrawn a win. I mean, you have to give Thrawn a
This
major
is
win
sure.
at some point.
This will be his win, and then
This
he
will be his
will
win.
he will cut through the New Republic in whatever form this takes. He
Yeah.
will win a lot there, but
Yeah.
ultimately
Yeah.
he loses in the end.
But I feel like he's got to have a big win against our hero, like a big win against our heroes.
Well, this will be the big win. He's going to win this. He's going to escape, and they are. They fail.
I mean, like causing deaths potentially.
Well, here's my problem is like I've predicted deaths in every Disney Plus series, and none of them have come to fruition.
Hey,
So-
Bad Batch season 2. Bad Batch season 2.
I wanted look. Nobody has. Well, yeah. I guess. What's his face? The smart one died.
Allegedly.
One of the two smart ones. Yeah.
One of the two smart ones died.
We
in
never
Bad
saw a
Batch.
body.
Wait, who died?
Tech.
What was Tech? Yeah, Tech.
Oh, that's a cartoon. Never mind.
Who did Nick Nolte voice? He died.
Oh yeah.
Bill.
What was his name? Keck. What was his name?
Quill.
Quill.
That's right.
Quill.
I have spoken.
I have spoken. Mando. He had like the gruffest. I've been
that's a great
smoking
character.
for
I mean,
50 years.
That was another thing that helped Mando season 1 was that character.
Mhm.
That was a
Well,
good
look, and
character.
look, what's helping Ahsoka for a lot of people is Balin and these new characters like Shin. I think those are intriguing characters because you don't know which way these characters are going to go. You don't know, like, Balin is what they didn't call him a gray Jedi, but they came up with this new word for this. What was the word they came up with? Like
Fallen.
fallen Jedi.
Jedi.
That's like a new thing, like fallen
Gray
Jedi.
was always stupid, but
Yes.
Wait,
I'll tell you a character I don't like.
Twitter's super moist over that guy. What's his name? Ezra. Like they love that stuff.
I'm not gonna. I'm
I
really
know.
enjoying his performance.
I am too. I like Ezra a lot.
I like the kind of
character I don't like
whimsical-
in this show is Morgan Elsbeth.
Oh yeah, I think she's a
he's-
little weaker than I'd like her
I'm
to be.
so done with her.
Yeah.
I don't care
playing-
that she's Bruce Lee's goddaughter.
Yeah, the female part's a little underwritten.
The guy playing Ezra is bringing way more whimsy than anyone else in the show. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
no,
bringing
he's
an
doing a good
actual
job.
like
He seems like he's having fun, right?
energy.
It's
Yeah.
almost Aladdin-esque, which I'd like them to pull
I'm
back
okay
on that a
with
little
No,
bit.
but that's what the Ezra
Right.
character was like too.
Little racist.
No,
that was
I
a
only
tiny
say that
racism, but
because
that's
that
okay.
actor was rumored to have been cast in the role for a small short.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, Mike.
I mean-
It's okay. It's okay.
That's
No,
what the,
that's why I
that's
said
that's what the Ezra character got in
Right.
season 1. It was Space Aladdin. People called him that.
Yeah, you're right. I do recall that. Yeah, Space Aladdin. You're right. Like about what?
About Bruce
Morgan
Lee's
Elsbeth.
goddaughter. Yeah,
Yeah,
Morgan Elsbeth,
Fett
yeah.
does like the martial arts, so you gotta.
Yeah,
watch what
I
you say
know.
about it.
Look, the martial art thing. Like, I'm not the biggest Jackie Chan fan in the world. Like,
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
God.
Oh my, just look, this you've gone to. Oh, see, look what you've done. Look what you've hurt his feelings. He's angry.
Look, my favorite part.
He's gonna come fake karate chop you now.
One of the reasons I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood so much is that Bruce Lee scene. That was just fantastic.
when he took him down.
Yes.
Yes, that was good. You're right about that. Okay, all right. We've gone over the hour that I don't like to go because listen, as I alluded to, well, we'll talk about that like a little bit in a second. Garrison, final thoughts about the penultimate episode, and then where can people find you?
It was all right. I hope the finale is awesome, and I'm excited for it. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
honestly the most excited right now for Loki season 2. Just personally,
What?
to this point has been my favorite Marvel show.
No, I
Personally,
agree. Yeah.
And I'm excited to see the follow up with a lot of the same creative guys returning. So
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at grifen3, Instagram as well. You can find me on Letterboxd at grifen, where I watched Breathless recently, and I really don't know what to rate it. I don't really know that I will rate it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but it's sometimes hard to rate a film. You just kind of like, oh
No,
yeah.
I agree. I mean, the letterboxd culture demands it, but
Yeah.
perhaps maybe you shouldn't.
Sometimes I just go no.
Maybe you just don't want to. That's fine.
I liked it.
Yeah, I'm doing a full first time watch through of the Nightmare on Elm Street series for my
Three's the best
Halloween. What happened? Oh, yeah,
Three
that's
is-
what everybody
three's
says is 3. They say 3, and then that one that like
Dream
the
Warriors.
Yeah.
new Nightmare,
Yeah.
the one that wasn't really a Freddy movie but was sort of meta. They say that one's good too.
Mm.
The
but
Dawkins
anyway,
song is great. Yeah.
the Dawkins. Oh yeah, the actual in the first one. Yes,
No,
Or
it's in
is
the
it-
third one.
it's in the third. I liked the song in the credits of the first one that I watched last night. I was like, that's pretty. It's a banger. All right, Jacob. Final thoughts. And where
Yes.
could people find you?
I've enjoyed this series thoroughly. It's not as good as Mando season 1 or 2. It's much better than season 3, better than Book of Boba Fett, better than Kenobi.
What about
Agreed.
Andor?
It's
Yeah.
I'm enjoying my time watching this series more than I enjoyed my time watching Andor. Andor is
Oh,
probably a better made show.
little grim.
Jacob and I are on the same wavelength here.
It's a little
Okay.
grim. Sure. Yeah, it's not super fun to watch, but
Yeah.
I was always just so enthralled by the performances. Like I just
Yeah, for sure.
I got
And,
so
like,
much out of that. Yeah.
better acting, better story, better writing, better
That's fun.
Pizza.
set design type of stuff. But this show has been way more fun, I think.
Sure.
Yeah. Roth from Wyoming on the socials. Good Day for a Movie Podcast is the podcast. We will have an episode out this week. Something happened with Google Drive yesterday where the folder where the audio of the episode was there, but I could not. There was nothing in it. And I just checked, and it's there now. So I just need to edit it. Probably out tomorrow.
Yeah, because I was looking forward to what your thoughts were on
Escape from New York.
Yeah, Escape from New York.
Is
Classic.
the movie. Our next movie though is Me, Myself, and Irene.
Wow, that's a great movie, actually. But
I've never seen it. One
It's-
of my favorite political commentators, Michael Knowles, says that it is his favorite movie of all time, and he considers it the greatest movie ever made.
My wife loves it. His sons are hilarious in it.
there's some good stuff in that movie.
There's some
Actually,
real good stuff in that movie. Yeah, one of my wife's favorite.
Rhett, anybody? You want anybody to find you?
No, not really.
Final thoughts. Final thoughts of the
Final thought
episode.
is
Sorry. Yeah.
Zeb is more likely to appear in Loki season 2 than he is the next episode of Ahsoka.
Whatever.
And this time tomorrow, I will be proven correct. That's all.
All right, my final thoughts are, and this may like I may be taking this a little bit too far, but I think I'm going to go with it anyway. I think the show's obviously a love letter to the fans of the animated series. I think that it's been a fantastic season 5, basically, of Rebels. I think it's the way that I would have thought the animated series would have gone in some sort of form. I mean, this type of thing. And I think it's a good setup for the future of Star Wars in a way. I mean, obviously this we've got to bump up to the sequel trilogy. But there could be a unique way to get us there. And I think Filoni and team, that's including Favreau, have a plan. And I think Kathleen Kennedy has finally acquiesced to what fans want in a way, and are letting those two guys kind of run the Star Wars ship.
Favreau's gone.
What are you talking about?
This is in Filoni's gone too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Hold on, I've got Mike Zero in my ear. Yep, Filoni's gone.
So look, I think that the series has been a really good setup. Skeleton Crew is also in the Filoni Favreau verse, so I think there's going to be some surprises in that series. It's not going to be as cut and dry as kids get lost and Jude Law goes to save them. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that it ties together and continues the thread to the film that Filoni is obviously going to make that will make $1 billion at the box office worldwide. So I think I'm excited about the future of Star Wars. We will be back next week. As I alluded to earlier in the episode, we're back on Tuesdays for Loki. Tuesdays are a better day anyways. Especially during football.
During football season, we've got our
season.
Young adult group on Monday nights. It's
Tuesdays, Loki season 2. We will be talking about that as well. For the first, I'll say for the first 46 minutes, because I want to give at least as much time to the finale of Ahsoka as the episode length. So, or 49 minutes, I think. So,
we're gonna do Loki first?
No. We're going to do Ahsoka first. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
We'll get 49 minutes to Ahsoka, and then we'll give as much. However, the link. Do we know how long the first episode of Loki is?
Yes, Mikey. I sent you the first 4 episode runtimes the other day.
Can you remind me?
Jeez.
I do not remember it right off the top of my head, but
anyways, yeah. So I'm glad
45 minutes, 39 of content. So
okay, so yeah, well, let's say that 49, 45. That's why we're almost here for 2. I mean, that's only fair. I think we're going to have a special guest who may have been in the chat this week. Hopefully, Dr. Earl will be back. That is an alert dog. He is like so ready for you to be done.
He is very ready.
He's like, dude, get over this stuff that you're doing on YouTube and come play with me. I love that. Hondo is the best dog ever. Thank you to the chat. We had appearances from the Forcecast's own Ryan Donahue. And look, the Forcecast is big time. Ryan, I am honored, even if it was to come on and dunk me. I'm honored that Ryan even took 5 seconds of his time.
I don't
Mikey,
think,
I don't think that was a dunk.
Dunking us.
I think he was coming on to you.
He might have been. I'm excited that he even gave 5 seconds. Go listen to the Forcecast. It is a fantastic podcast about Star Wars that has been running for over a decade now. The Forcecast
has to be over a decade.
At least, yeah, maybe 2 decades now. It might be like that's a freaking long running show. Different hosts throughout, obviously, but Ryan and Daniel are the current hosts, and it is a fun show. I listen to a lot. That I listen to every episode they release. So it's really, really great. Fett made his triumphant return. I really appreciate you coming back, Fett. It was fun to see you in the chat. Andrew, as always. Brian, as always. Matt stopped by for a second. Did we have any Aussie Nate appearances? I'm scrolling back. No. Oh, Melissa? To dunk on Rhett's sunglasses. She stopped in for a moment. So I really appreciate that. We'll be back next Tuesday night, people, for the finale of Ahsoka and the premiere of Loki season 2. I am very excited. Thank you to the panel, Garrison, Jacob Roth, and Rhett. Earl, we missed you this week, but we understand that life gets in the way. Hope everybody has a great night. Go finish that football game and watch a movie and some TV. Oh, it's over? That's too bad. I was going to finish it. Bye, everybody.